being
right,
here.
you've been fantastic. Thank you
Appreciate
so much. All right, folks, let's take a look at this session because we got a little bit more red. I had this chart made right before the show, but we're back and forth. We were in the red when the show began. Again, the reason I wanted to make this is because it's pretty interesting. We just talked about energy, Phil and I, but it's the hot areas, right? Tech barely making it, communication services barely making it. The growth area is struggling, which is fine. Because the safe havens also are struggling. So this means this is an opportunistic market, which is my next guest says, by the way. He likes that, but he also still likes the Magnificent Seven. Come on in here, Mike Lee. Mike Lee Strategies founder. So everyone's bailing because this is the Mag 7, right? Golly, I'm bored. Well, I think maybe we got to throw some Windex on this bad boy or something one day. Anyway, the Mag 7, everything else. Everyone's saying logically, this has got a base at the very least or come down and these go up.
So I think the holdup for the Magnificent Seven is there's skepticism about spending and tech investment on AI.
Really?
Yeah. So from what I'm told in the hedge fund community is that people are worried about NVIDIA. Can their growth continue in 2025? And so you talk about the price to earnings ratio of these ones. Well, when you look on Yahoo Finance and it says that NVIDIA is trading at 63 times earnings, it's just wrong. They're trading at 25 times next earnings, maybe more like 23, 24. They're going to do $100 billion in revenue. They're going to net $50 billion.
Right.
Okay. So the multiples of these companies are lower once you get a real grip around what their earnings are actually going to be next year. And if you think about it from where I'm sitting, Powell is cutting rates because the economy is slowing,
right,
not because inflation is completely under control, and they see a train coming forward.
So you don't agree because the narrative yesterday was he was cutting because of disinflation, not because of a slower economy.
Well, so I see it differently.
Right,
I see a lot of things differently than Jerome Powell, but he is the Fed chair. So what I would say is part of the reason why you've seen the Magnificent Seven work so well this year is outside of Tesla, maybe, these are defensive stocks.
Right.
They are recession-proof. They have the cleanest balance sheets, easiest access to capital.
Right.
And then there's something going on with AI. And so right now, out of a $4.8 trillion tech spend, AI is only getting $120 billion of market share, right? That's less than 3%. So if that goes up into 25, look for these stocks to take off. Okay, and so everybody's spending money on NVIDIA to use their GPUs to build the computing power for AI. Okay,
right.
But if you're a large company, you can't buy it from just one company. You can't have 100% of your parts come from a single vendor. You need a redundancy plan. These two are the main beneficiaries of that. And I'd say Marvel has the most upside just because they're the lowest revenue company. So if they pick up $500 million or $1 billion in AI revenue over the next couple years.
Goods, though, because, I mean, everyone loves AMD. I remember 20 years ago, AMD, every time they did okay, Intel would crush them like a week later. They finally got their act together. The CEO is phenomenal, and they are giving everyone else a run for their money. The Marvell feels like the one that's inconsistent.
They're getting there. They're almost there. Things are happening right now, and they're just crushing it.
Right.
And it's AI is going to take up an increasing share of tech spend over the next decade, right? You had a very smart young lady talking about cybersecurity. We were told first it was the cloud. They're not going to keep spending this type of money on the cloud. Look at where Amazon is right now and Microsoft, okay? Then the next one, they're not going to keep spending this money on cybersecurity. Okay, that was wrong. And then the next argument is they're not going to keep spending this money on AI. Well, AI ties all this stuff together, and then the cloud providers for it. Like, this is the golden age of tech spend for these types of companies, and I think they all win, regardless of whether we have a shift to small caps or what the Fed does. This is going to be unbelievable earnings powers for these companies.
Don't step away from these just yet. Mike, great stuff. Great seeing you.
Charles, thank you very much.
All right, buddy. Hey, coming up, are you better off now or worse than before the pandemic? Tweet me your thoughts. CV Payne.